Hello, Daisy Cakes. This is Daisy X Machina, the drag queen detective who investigates all things speculative in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And this is a Get Ready With Me where I get into drag to film a video later today. And yes, we have Lynette and we have Frank. Thank you both for joining. And the question is, as usual, how is your reading going? I'm still reading House of Open Wounds, which is the second book of Adrian Tchaikovsky's Tyrant Philosophers trilogy, and I'm enjoying it. I really like the book. I'm about 80% through. I'm sure I'll finish it tomorrow or the next day. I'm reading really slow this year. I don't know why, but well, I do know why because I'm also writing, so I have to prioritize. Um, The Tiered Philosopher series is really interesting in that, at least from these first two books, they feel like standalone books. And the second book also has a large cast of characters, but it's mostly focused on this ex-priest healer person. And they're in pretty much it's like MASH. It feels a lot like the series MASH because it's a mobile infantry unit in this fantasy story, and there are a bunch of misfits. Um, but yeah, if you like fantasy, I recommend. I don't know if I'm going to jump into the third book because assuming it's also going to be a standalone, I may take a break and read some other books. I certainly need to read my Shelve It or Shove It pick this year or this month. And I'm doing that Hugo series. So we'll see. We'll see. Okie dokie. I put on the green light because I'm going to do green eyeshadow because I'm not going to film on a green screen today. And it'll be apparent why. Well, it's a stupid reason why. I won't say anything about the video, but when you see me without a green screen, you'll know why. And so let's get to it. Okay. Been reading Sweet Tooth by Ian McEwan. Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you, Lynette. The third book in the book series, or I think it's called the Library Series. It's coming out next month, and I actually have it on pre-order, so I'll automatically get it when it comes in. So yeah, I'm excited about that one because I love the first book so much. Second book, not as much, but I'm curious about well, I want to see the ending. Okay, so we're going to do green. So I was going to do green and cut the lid with pink because I think green and pink are nice contrast. Oh, I did see the first 3 episodes of the Wheel of Time season 3 was released. And that is really light green. Let's take it up higher. And I don't know if any of you are fans of Wheel of Time series. I think Lynette, you said you did with your one of your sons. But I am liking it more as the seasons progress, mostly because I'm sort of jettisoning or bleaching my mind of the original book because they depart so much from it. And I think the actors and the directors or whoever's running the show is getting better, or maybe they're replacing people. I have no idea. Lynette finished. Oh goodness, Savis Corax deals with the dead. Fantasy without magic. How can you have fantasy without magic? Well, I guess yeah, it could be like a fantastical realm type thing. Yes, I remember the green alien woman. I'm trying to remember it's not the Orions, or is it? I think she was an Orion slave girl, but the Orions are the ones with the blue skin. Yeah, I forgot what the green people are called. Also finished a biography of Matthew Flinders, but I don't suppose people here know who he was. I have no idea who he is. Did Kirk kiss her, or was it Scotty? Well, I know one of them. She was one of the prisoners in a madhouse. That might have been the first time we saw her. But also, I believe in the menagerie, the woman who or was it? I think it was a menagerie. No, there's one illusionist that kept changing her form, and one of them was of the green woman, green alien. One eye is watering. In 1798, Flinders led the first expedition to circumnavigate Tasmania and prove it was an island. Oh, interesting. That's kind of funny. They had to prove it was an island. Actually, I'm not sure how big Tasmania is. Kirk was about to kiss her, but they cut off last second for Southern TV. Yeah, yeah. He's the first to circumnavigate Australia and prove it was a single landmass. Oh, interesting. Yeah, the first interracial kiss on TV. I was reading something. I think it was Martha Ray and some other actress from yesteryear. But there was complaints when they were on TV, and they were just, it was some game show, and they were like hugging a little a young black girl for winning um, this game show, and there were complaints about that. It's just amazing how prejudiced people used to be, and still are, I guess. At least now there's at least conceit to be embarrassed about, or not advertising as much. He was accompanied by Bungaree, first indigenous man to circumnavigate Australia, and Flinders' cat Trim. Who's the first cat? I love that, to circumnavigate Australia. 19, yeah, it's probably, it was, black and white TV, so back then. Okay. Usually I start with the darkest color, but now I started with the lightest color. So let's try to do something. Speaking about shows that are not speculative, I saw this show on Netflix that had the best acting that I've seen in a long time. It's this British show with a 4-part miniseries called Adolescence. And it's not really about adolescence, but one of the main figures is an adolescent boy. And it's really interesting because it was shot with a one camera, um, continuous shot. So it was like if they changed like scenes, like the camera was going on one person, another person was passing, it would catch the other person. I think Robert Altman used to do that a lot in his movies. But anyway, it was done throughout the entire series. And I guess it does sort of, it makes it feel a little bit claustrophobic because you're always in this one camera. And the camera would like move around to sort of give you different views. It wasn't static and, kept moving around. Um, but it was really effective for getting you or making you feel as though you're just in really into the story, in the physically in the story. But anyway, the acting blew me away because usually I'm not a huge fan of child actors because they can't act. Yeah, but I still watch the shows like Harry Potter. Especially the first couple of movies were not very good acting wise. But the boy who played the lead was 13. He looked younger. To me, he looked young. I can't tell people's ages, but he had this, face of an angel, and he was real skinny. So I guess that's why he looked younger. Um, but the premise is in the first episode, the police break into this lower middle class British family's home, and they arrest their young son for murder. And so it starts off really wild, and and the kid looks so young and so weak. At least to my eyes, he looked young and weak. That it's hard to believe that he could have committed anything. So it starts kind of like a whodunit crime mystery, but it's not really. Actually, I'm not sure what the. I think the genre is just drama. I mean, the genre is just drama because I thought it was a procedural, but it's really not. But the acting is so good, and it just hooked me. And it's on Netflix. The British were extending a railway line. They discovered Flinders' missing grave. Oh, and he was reburied in a small town he was from on the 250th anniversary of his birth. That's really cool. Blair Witch Project made people sick just watching it because of the jerky camera. Yeah, that's not what I was talking about. That's like I forgot the name of that genre. That pretty much Blair Witch, the found footage type thing. This is like a smooth camera, one shot. Little girl in the bad seat. Yeah, she was really good. Joffrey was amazing. Yes, she's the one with the pigtails and tap shoes. There are kids like that. And this this mini series, Adolescence, again, highly recommend. It's disturbing. So keep that in mind. But it kind of has that, maybe not, but what makes people evil? And the bad seed, of course, the premise is that it's genetic, as opposed to, nature versus nurture. And in this one, it's definitely not genetic, but it's not really nurture, but maybe it could be. You have to watch it. Okay, so I always like the premise of the bad seed, that not everyone is, or not every, like, can we say psychotic? But every evil person is a result of how they are brought up. Like there is maybe not even genetic, but some random factor. It feels like these days we've gone so heavy into there has to be some underlying reason someone is evil, you know, that I think it actually interferes with the story. Hey, Mooney's here. Hey, Mooney. I don't like the term evil. Okay, fair enough. Oh, you met some family. Fantastic. Is it semantics? Combination of nature and nurture? I don't think anyone is evil, though some people are seriously disturbed. When I was at a writing conference, or a writing retreat, the last year or the year before, whatever it was, I was like talking about, oh, I miss just an evil villain, and then I was talking about the bad seed, that, you know, could there just be kids that are just born bad, or, and that it really upset one of the writers I was with, because she was like, no, no, I can't believe that if someone is raised in a loving household, that they'll turn out anything but a good person. She was really adamant about that. I was like, oops. That might be like sort of a mother's reaction. You know? When he got 97 out of 100 on a project. Yay. There is one that my body feet doesn't do its job. I'm not sure what you mean. There are people brought up in good families to turn out bad. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I think. Okay. Yeah, I think we've all heard of that. I was going to say theory, but the about kids that hurt animals young, you know, uh, signs of a serial killer, and that's one of the commonalities. I remember when I was growing up. Oh gosh, I must have been like 7 or 8. There was a neighbor boy that would torture frogs and would show them to me, and that kid freaked me out. I but as an adult, I often wondered, I wonder what became of him. Did he become a serial killer? But I doubt it, but definitely are some creepy kids. And I don't think his family was abusive or anything. I mean, they seemed totally normal. But his sister was really nice, I thought. J. Michael Straczynski was brought up in a terribly abusive home, but he turned out to be a caring man. I think you heard that more about people from troubled upbringings turning out rising above their home life. St. Patty's Day Monday, 100,000 people coming to town. Goodness. Fuchsia flower shape. His mother threw him off his building. Oh my gosh. The Blank Slate by Stephen Pinker, he says, nature more important than nurture. I was brought up in a loving home. I wasn't. His father took part in the massacre of Jews in World War II, and his grandmother molested. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know if I want to read that biography, but what a turnaround, because he's one of the, Straczynski's one of the biggest names in science fiction media. Okay, let me I think it's money and religion. In Israel, you can more of it. How your parents will be. Money and religion. Yeah, religion can do a number on you. Money is important, but not all important. Happened where in my country it's a big deal. Maybe that more when my parents were children. My home was far from loving. My mother only cared about my brother. She neglected her 3 daughters. Yikes. In the long run, she damaged my brother more. Well, my mother died when I was in 5th grade. How old is that? I think 11-ish. And then my father remarried, and my stepmother and I guess, got along for a couple of years, but then she's Southern Baptist, very religious. My father's very conservative. Um, but things were just off the rails once I became a teenager. Did not have a would not call my home loving. Okay, anyway, on that lovely note, let's I'm gonna do boy, the pink looks really fluorescent. I kind of like that. Well, that's interesting. In the long run, she damaged your brother more, even though that's all she cared about. Hmm. I have a friend who has to raise her younger brother and mom. That happens a lot with, I shouldn't say it happens a lot, but I've heard that happening and seen that happening where the younger sibling pretty much has to uh, go into the parental, uh, become the parental figure to a younger sibling. I have an aunt who pretty much is on the nature side. What'd she say? She said something like, um, if you're just a normal parent, not like really horrible or maybe like a super parent, you're just like a parent, that kids will grow up as they grow up. Nothing you can do about the type of people they become. Not saying she's right or wrong, just an interesting view from a parent. Because I think one of her kids was really um, troubled and one wasn't. Oh, crap. Oh, shoot. Just, well, fix that later. Oh, my brother was so babied, he never grew up properly. He ended up alcoholic and suffered from dependent personality disorder. Yikes. I'm the fourth child, oldest of our, I'm an only child. I have a half sister. I think you mentioned her, but we didn't grow up together. I didn't actually even know she existed till I was an adult. My sis, two brothers, they're twins, and me. Must be interesting to have twins in the family. Yeah, that is kind of interesting having twins in your family. Always wondered how it was be to grow up with siblings. But as they say, the grass is always greener. It started with a wet primer. So now I'm trying to layer eyeshadow on top. I'm sure no one cares about it. Okay, so that's the pink. Let me try to just put a little bit of pink. It's not gonna work. Okay. Mom was an RN. My mom was an RM too. My next speculative fiction, I have to choose between the sequel to Mickey 7 and the next Savis Korax book. Registered nurse. Yes, yes, yes. The movie Mickey 7 was released a few days ago in the US. Yes, I was thinking about watching it. I have to wait until next month to see. Maybe I'll see it tomorrow. My mom had different jobs, but she has a PhD in physics. Wow, that's very impressive. So works at Hewlett Packard. Too. It's cleaning up the lines, hopefully without making it worse. I'll be interested in your view of Mickey 17. It's directed by Boom Joon Ho. And I haven't read the book, so I don't know if that's an advantage or a disadvantage. Mickey 17, it's a story about this is all I know, a story about a artificial person. I think the guy in it is Robert Pattinson, the Twilight movie star. It's like a little brush, little brush. Moving on to Black Primitive. Wonder how long the movie is. Hard for me to sit through a really long movie in the theater. Unless it's a 4D, which I kind of love, but I think most people might have issues with it. 4D means the seats move and they shake you so you can't fall asleep. I mean, that's not why they shake you. They shake you because the action scenes, like if something explodes, you move and type of thing. It also sprays you with water. Not a lot, just like a little misting of water. Okay. AI. Well, hold on. Lynette knows the story more. Every time Mickey dies, his consciousness is downloaded into a new clone of him. In the book, he has died 6 times. In the movie, it seems he's died 16 times. Okay, but that's why it's Mickey 17. Longest film I ever saw. I don't know. Ooh, okay, that's a little. I might wait for that one to come to TV. Godfather, it's 2, 3 hours, 20 minutes worth every minute. Yeah, I like the Godfather movie. Oh yeah, that's true. The extended version, Lord of the Rings. 2.5 hours. What have happened to 90-minute movies? I mean, I used to love going to the movies as a kid. Back when they showed cartoons before the movie. You really have to be of a certain age to remember that. Yeah. Usually like the Pink Panther. Actually, for a while, it's almost always a Pink Panther, although I kind of remember some Warner Brothers. Um, Once Pink Panther came on the scene, that's what it usually was. Okay. Hitman thriller last night called Nobody, a little over the top, but very funny. I'm of that age, yeah. The age when we saw a cartoon. I'm gonna do start. And also back in the day, you pay once when you get in the theater and you get to sit there and watch it over and over for however many times you want. Suppose you could still do that. Might have to hide in the bathroom or something. Okay, I think I'm done. Yeah. Lori's here. Yay. Thank you for joining us, Lori. I watched each of the Lord of the Rings movies multiple times in the cinema. I think the last was the first movie 12 times. What? Wow, 9 times. Not sure about the second one. I own Doctor Strangelove. Yeah, I didn't see Lord of the Rings as many times as you did, but I did buy the DVDs. Used to go to half price Tuesdays when pensioners half rates were halved once again. I think tickets cost me $2.75. Still got any snow on the ground? No snow at the moment. Yay. I would hate to live in a fantasy world. Maybe I could deal with the sci-fi world. Yeah, we become so accustomed for modern things like plumbing. Okay, so let's do the lips. Try to do a pink lip. Yeah, I am all for modern conveniences. Okay. Last little snow in my suburb was back in 1986. With climate change, we'll probably never have snow at sea level. It was almost 80 2 days ago, about 40 now. Oh, that's a wild swing. Although it has been kind of cool here in Vegas, which isn't unusual at this time of year, but it's interspersed with like days that go up into the 70s. Days they had to choose between flush toilets and the internet, the crappers would win, hands down. I couldn't live without the internet. I do not like snow. Yeah, I am very reliant on the internet now, but I mean, it wasn't that long ago when we didn't have internet. Okay. I'm gonna find a dark purple, I mean dark pink too. Define my lips. No. Oh, thank you, Lori. Thank you. I use the internet for the weather, for telling time, ordering groceries, watching TV. That goes out walking the same. That's what I do now too. It's kind of go on walks and exercise. I just said it's sedentary. This is not doing what I wanted to do. Okay, let's try. I'm gonna have to go a little. Can't see what I'm doing. Trying to darken the outer parts of this look to. Okay. Okay, so this is, I'm just going to quit while we're ahead. I could just futz around forever. Hey, Sam is here. Recently found your channel. I've been loving it. Thank you. You have such a soothing voice. Oh, I hate my voice, but thank you. Probably a jerk. How dare you? Well, no comment. No, you're fine, Frank. Play it again, Sam. I found my favorite new music via the internet. Gave away my entire CD collection. An Uber driver. Bands I found on YouTube include The Who, The Giant Rook, and Anime Bear. I don't know that one. Well, thank you. Okay, so let's put on some lashes. Not forget the lashes. For those of you, oops. For those of you who weren't here earlier, today I'm going to be filming not on a green screen. And when you see the video, oh, it's so stupid. I have a little joke at the end that it's the only reason why I don't want to film on the green screen. But that's why I have a green eyeshadow today. Usually I don't do green because of the green screen. And I'll probably release that video sometime next month. But this week, I want to release, I did the 1940 retro Hugos. So we're skipping 38 to 39 because they didn't do a 39. And I don't really know why. I was going to film a video, or I was thinking about filming a video on Anne McCaffrey, but I just need to do more research. I can't just rush it. Yeah, I don't even know what happened to all my, I had a lot of, not a lot, I had a few audio CDs. I remember uploading them or downloading them onto the computer at some point for the, what were those little things called? The little things you played music on. iMusic, which I don't even know what they're called. I don't know what happened. It's like, I must have thrown them away at some point. I never really collected vinyl, even at the time when they had vinyl. The only thing I can remember is I had the White Album by Beatles. I had Wings, a couple other albums. Not much. Oh, do you guys remember 8-track tapes? My stepmother had a ton of 8-track tapes. Okay, so the only thing about 8-track tapes, well, one, you couldn't record on them that I can recall. But the other thing was they always seemed to get caught in the players. They were always leaving tape. Her favorite musicians, well, she liked some country music like Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, that type of thing. But her favorite artist, which she went crazy over, is Elvis Presley. So he had a lot of Elvis Presley 8-tracks. Okay, look at Ann and May, Kintier and Giant Rooks. 2 lead singer of these groups have fantastic voices. Look up Tom's Diner, German band, German. I think the cover is better than Suzanne Vega's version. Studied German for a year at school. Hey, DK, thank you for coming in. DK did have an 8-track recorder. Oh, recorder. Okay. I like Suzanne Vega. Remember them well, but never owned any myself. Pretty in Pink. I forgot to grab a glove. Yeah, we didn't have, before my father remarried, we never had any 8-tracks. It was only my stepmother that introduced them to the house, because before then it was just vinyl records. And of course, cassette tapes just took everything over. But they were easy to record over. Okay, guys, this is the final. Let me zoom out a little. Okay, guys, this is the final look. It's green because I'm going to do a green screen, and pink because I thought it would be a good contrast for the green. And I will be filming a silly video today and releasing the next Hugo video this week. And I should be back next week. Many songs I recorded had track changes in the middle of the song. Reminds me of Cotton Candy. Yay. Thank you, Lynette. Specifically bought an all-in-one stereo setup and 8-track recorder. Very nice. I bet that was back in the 70s, my guess, because that's when we had the 8-track. Okay, So anyway, I should be back next week. Thank you so much for joining me. And as usual, may all the books you read be blessed.